Hi, my name is Caitlin Suriano, and today I'm going to be telling the story of the Shadow Train, retold by S.C. Schlesinger. One day there was a miner who wanted to get a better life for himself and his family. He was talking to his old mining mentor about how there was too little jobs but too many miners. The mining mentor said, "Have you heard of Dos Cabezas? It's this new place where they just found that has a bunch of mines and they need more miners." So the prospector decides to go where the jobs are. He takes his burro and they start traveling. He didn't plan for the long trek though. He soon ran out of water and food, and shelter became scarce as the flats became wider and the trees became fewer. He knew that him and his burro were in trouble if he didn't find them water and resources fast. Soon his burro eventually dies because of the blistering sun and the minimal resources that they have. But the miner was determined. He wanted to get a better life for him and his mom, and he knew how sad his mom would be if this journey is what killed him. So he decides to continue. Determined with the thought of his mother in his head, he continues. With the whole world warping and wobbling around him, he knows that this is just hallucination from dehydration and he just needs to keep pushing through. Eventually, he decides it's time to rest, so he lays down to rest. While he's laying down, he hears a choo choo. He thinks, why am I hearing this sound? There is no train tracks for miles. There's no possibility of a train station anywhere. The mountains are too vast and too hard to put any tracks. So he just shrugs it off as further hallucination and falls back asleep. He's awoken to a choo choo. Now it's clearer and closer. So he's like, what could this be? He then remembers words from the same mining mentor that told him to go on this journey in the first place, that there's a shadow train that helps the miners that need it the most. So he originally just shrugged it off as the original mentor was hallucinating and there's no way that there could be a train with no tracks. But now he kind of gets it. The train, you could hear the clickety-clack, clickety-clack. And he's like, there's no tracks, but I can hear the choo-choo. It's getting louder and clearer. And now he just says, I have got to be hallucinating. I need to go back to sleep. Falls back asleep again, but is awoken by a jolly conductor. The miner is so confused and said, how could it be? How can you have a giant steam engine behind you right now? He said, we are the Shadow Train. We're here to help. The Shadow Train comes to help miners who need it the most. And we come with no tracks, but with great choo-choo. They continued on into the train. In the train, the miner was given the nicest cup of water he'd ever seen, which immediately quenched his thirst. And he was given a vast array of food, which immediately helped with his hunger. He was able to then take the best nap he's taken in a long time, and is awoken again by droplets of water on his face. He opens his eyes to see a sheriff. He asks the sheriff, where am I? And the sheriff says, Wilcox, Arizona. The miner is confused as the last time he went to bed, he was on this shadow train, and now he is woken by a cop telling him he's in Wilcox, Arizona. So the miner tells him all about how his burro died, he was getting dehydrated, and a shadow train came to help him, and he would have died without it. The sheriff says, there's no shadow train around here, there's no way. But because there's no tracks for miles, no track could be planted here at all, actually. The miner shrugs it off and knows that the shadow train just comes to help those who need it the most. Now, Arizona has continued to modernize to this day, as it is majorly modernized now, even more so than when this story was originally retold. But some say that the shadow train still runs for those who need it the most. Thank you.